Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on AccuWeather Early. I'm Ariella Scalese.
And I'm Constanzer. Here's what we're covering for you this morning.
The forecast here across the country. A lot of us into the northeast waking up with snow. I thought it looked beautiful leaving the neighborhood early this morning with the Christmas lights on, but it could cause some slick travel still out there.
Yeah, and if you're not getting the snow, you might be getting the rain, drizzle, low visibility. So all of that putting a challenge on your Monday morning commute. Meanwhile, there's thunderstorms brewing across the Ohio-Mississippi River confluence.
Yeah, those have a lot of lightning this morning, some brief heavy downpours. But wait, there's more. We have some snow showers here and colder air moving back in across North Dakota and Minnesota.
That's going to be the driver of one of our next storm systems. And on its heels, the western U.S. also getting active. And that storm will sure enough move east too.
Plenty from there.
Yeah, we've got a whole other storm system on its heels. So we're going to be dealing with rounds of rain for the eastern U.S. in several locations. And if you don't get the rain, you might even get the wintry mix or the snowy pattern here. So this is how the jet stream kind of digs its way on south, and it brings those waves of energy coming straight in from the western U.S. So we've seen how stormy it's been across the northwest, across portions of northern California. Well, once all this action gets east, it provides a chance for rain and snow. You can see that highlighted for your Wednesday into Wednesday night, another storm system ready to go. So anywhere from Indiana through Pennsylvania, New Jersey, we are looking at rain. And if you're north, say around Interstate 80 on north, that's where we start to see more of that wintry weather work in. Where does this all come from? Well, it's actually going to come from basically two pieces of energy here that come through the jet stream. So Ariella just took you through Tuesday, and you can see that storm system starting to move out of the northeast. But watch as we have two systems here trying to dig its way in with that upper level energy. That ultimately kind of almost phases together. It doesn't quite fully merge, but it tries to as we go into Wednesday, and then it sweeps off the east coast, leaving a piece broken into the southeast. What that will do for us is tap into that Gulf moisture, surge it on northward, and allow for the chance for some rain. So we will be talking about that stormy time starting off again on Wednesday. Already rain overstretching the northeast. Some of us will be waking up to that tougher more as we head through Tuesday night into Wednesday. We have this system that's almost merged here. It's got that frontal boundary off towards the south, which means rain, some thunderstorms for these locations into the north. We do have cold enough there, at least for some snow. Not everyone will get that. The I-95 corridor does stay rain for places like Boston, New York, Washington, D.C. But if you are through the interior northeast, you have a chance for some snow. As that storm system departs, you'll note there's another storm system. This one is a much weaker one as it comes in. There will be some travel concerns out there as we head through today. Across the northwest, we were talking about all the stormy weather there. We will continue to deal with some of that. Chicago expects some minor delays for the morning. That's going to be for fog and drizzle, and a lot of that's trying to move out. And we do still have the rain and the drizzle in New York City that'll create those minor.
And welcome back, everyone, to AccuWeather Early. Thanks so much for watching on this Monday morning. Hopefully you had a nice weekend. I know you and I both enjoyed some time playing in the snow here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I got to take a little selfie. I'm going to have to post that to social media.
Yes.
Just, you know, anytime I can get out and enjoy it, because I feel like we end up complaining about it a lot.
Right.
It's always nice.
No, I agree. I went outside. I was like, I'm having so much fun, and I stand here all day complaining about the cold and the winter. I was like, okay, I don't hate winter. I just don't like the cold without the snow, because with the snow, it was fine to be outside yesterday.
And you know what's kind of a bit of a bummer? I don't know if you were trying to build snowmen. That snow came in during the overnight hours, so I was not able to like pack it together. My son was asking to do a snowman. I could not keep it together, but then I noticed this morning as I went out the door, I was like, oh, there's the good stuff.
Well, yeah, and hopefully you enjoyed getting out at no matter if it was snow or enjoying nicer weather. As for New York City, this for temperatures, we're not really talking about the Arctic air, at least for the first half of the week. Things stay rather mild, if not actually seeing our temperatures come up over the next couple of days with highs in the 40s and 50s eventually in New York City. Look at the last 3 hours here. We've zoomed on in. So here's Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn. It's kind of even hard to see with all the precipitation that moved through. So we had some periods of pretty heavy rain that have just moved on through that area, now heading a bit farther north. And for some of us across New England, into southern New England, we're talking Connecticut and Rhode Island. That does mean some snow to start the day. So if you go from Hartford into the city, I do think your morning commutes could be a bit rough. Actually, winter weather advisory is still posted for a lot of Pennsylvania into southern New England, whether that means the ongoing snow or that roads are still snow covered in some locations. Even Providence, a bit of a wet start for you. Newport dealing with that. Bridgeport and New Haven also pretty wet. we make our way a little bit front here. So still some areas of some rain and even rain-snow mix here through this morning. And then we may get a brief break before this next round starts to move on through, bringing that wet weather areas of rain across Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, and into western Pennsylvania. Areas that have seen so much snow like Erie here across a lot of Michigan. This is going to be rain, so I have to watch for some areas of that melting snow as well, with some pretty decent precipitation moving on through. A bigger look at the last 3 hours. I showed you some of those big conditions here across New England and down across the tri-state area, but then also dealing with some of these pretty decent thunderstorms here, southern Illinois into Indiana and into Kentucky. Even some early flash flood warnings, a bit lightens up a bit here across New England before we'll continue to watch this spread to the east here. Maybe lose a little bit of intensity here, but nonetheless, we'll still have some areas of showers to be tracking through tonight and then even through the day tomorrow. Wet again here for those conditions here across New York City. We'll deal with those cloudier conditions.
A lot more rain back into the forecast as we head into Wednesday. So gear up. We do have rounds of rain for some of those areas that have been hardest hit with the thunderstorms today, and we'll continue to see that as we go into the middle of the week. Why? The pattern with the jet stream is just keeping things very active. We keep getting those storms in the northwest. That provides enough energy. We get the moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, and all of a sudden we've got a storm. Got another one on Wednesday. Here it is, that low trekking its way out to sea. Well, it does so. We will have some snow on the northern side, but for those big East Coast cities, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, D.C., Pittsburgh even, it's going to be a rainmaker here. We do get rid of that storm system Ariella was talking about Tuesday, but look at how these two pieces of energy drop into the central U.S. on Wednesday. They try to merge together as one. We call that phasing. Doesn't fully phase, but it stays pretty weak and it slides its way on east. What this means for us is it's not going to ball up into a big windstorm like nor'easters as we go through Wednesday night, but it will provide rain and snow for thousands of miles, precipitation, I should say, for thousands of miles. Here we are talking about Wednesday here, and look at this. The low pressure system coming through the Ohio Valley does provide some of that soaking rain right underneath of it. But to the north, we do have, especially north of Interstate 80, the chance for some snow to mix in. So we will be looking at snow potential and even some accumulations, especially as you get towards the Adirondacks, some of the usual spots. Here's what happens as we say goodbye to that storm Tuesday. There's snow here across South Dakota and Minnesota. There's rain scattered about off towards the south. So as we go in through Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, all of a sudden we're looking at more than 1,000 miles, maybe even close to 2,000 miles here from central Texas to upstate New York, where we're looking at precipitation falling. Most of it is in the form of rain with thunderstorms. There are a few spots, though, like I said, that will get that potential for snow, largely in the interior. It transfers its energy offshore, and it will tug in behind it some pretty cold air. So we will be talking about that chill coming in on the backside. Just out there on the roads, especially this morning. I was just looking at Cincinnati getting some heavy rain right now. So if you are still doing the morning commute there, that's going to be a red light for you. But minor delays likely in Chicago for the morning. New York City also dealing with some minor delays, low clouds, drizzle, mist. The Northwest probably the most active.